Welcome to Burgin's 5 Stars here. Can't wait for you to get this week's. This is some interesting news going down, and then with the playoffs coming in, it got me thinking about some different ideas. So we'll go with our topic number one. Chance, if you haven't seen, the Utah Hockey Club has come up with their name for their team, the Utah Mammoth. Mammoth as in ancient.
Yeah, the woolly mammoth.
Woolly mammoth, correct.
Okay.
Reminds me of Power Rangers, the mammoth from Power Rangers.
the Black Rangers
Yes.
Zord. Yeah.
So it had me thinking, and gosh, I feel like I'm being so biased in a lot of these lately, in my opinions. But again, these are my opinions. Top 5 team names. I would say almost logos, but team names, in my opinion.
Oh, I'm gonna have fun with this one.
All right, number 5, the Pittsburgh Penguins. The fact that the Penguins are on ice. They slide, the hockey symbol, I'm knocking things over. I love the Pittsburgh Penguins. I love the black and yellow. I know everything in Pittsburgh is black and yellow. I love the Steelers logo, but the Penguins on ice, hockey, that's my number 5. Number 4, Toronto Blue Jays. The Blue Jays is one of the best, mascots in all of sports. But the way they logo it, it's by far one of the best hats, one of the best logos. But I think the Blue Jays, the color and everything that matches, that's one of my favorite team names in sports. Number 3, the Tampa Bay Bucks. The Buccaneers, man. You can't beat that creamsicle. That, to me, I know we've said before, that's one of the best jerseys in sports. But that logo with the Buccaneer biting the sword is by far one of the best team names, concepts in all of sports. Being there in Tampa Bay, they're by the coast. I used to love when Tom Brady and them was playing there, and they would have when they would go play playoff games, they do an Instagram story, and it was the ship sailing to the next stadium. It was pretty cool. And I remember one time they were going to Green Bay, and it was like snow falling down as the ship was coming in. So number 2, it's got to be the Florida Gators. I know I'm going to be biased. Burgin, it's always the Gators this, Gators that. The Florida Gators, they're in the swamp. The logo, you can look at any top 25 logos. The Gators are going to be on there. The Gator chomp, everything that represents the orange and blue. There's nothing like it. And then number 1 is the Chicago Bulls. I still think the Bulls is the best logo. I think it's the best jersey. I think it's the best concept. I think everything about what the Bulls are. That's my top 5. Maybe a biased top 5. Chance, you got anyone you wanted to add on there?
I do like the Bulls being up there at the top. I would say the Falcons was always a really good one. I
like the Falcons.
Like in the 90s, that was one of the premier ones. But the Charlotte Hornets was one of my favorites. It's always, it made me buy their gear. Not because I was a fan of their team. I didn't know a player on their team.
Yeah.
But because the colors.
Well, there's so many bears and tigers and birds. So, but a different kind of concept to me, like the Falcons, the Dolphins. I like the Dolphins. Fun. Being in Miami,
I think it took away from the Dolphins, though, with Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. It made it more of a fun team name to me and all that. But one that you're not thinking about here is when you brought up the Utah Mammoths.
Yeah.
Minor league teams.
Oh, minor league, the best.
They're the best.
They're the best.
So
the best.
The Oyster Catchers has become my favorite as of the past 2 months when they just released it. Because they released a glove with an oyster in it that definitely does not look like anything but bad.
The Trash Pandas are in Huntsville.
And the Trash Pandas up here are amazing.
I think there's a Banana Slugs.
The River Bandits.
Stuff
like that.
The minor league baseball, I didn't even get into that.
So
you can do a whole list of themselves on that.
Which I think we need to do. I think that's a fun list we could make together. But out of yours for professional teams and seriousness, I'm not going to lie, though. We're going to have to show it. One of my favorite team names is one you created, Chosen Ones. And then I had help with Brett Powell, and we put a logo together. Yeah. I think that's one of my favorites.
I love the Chosen Ones for sure. So, all right, that's our list for the top 5 team names. Next is clutch performers. I love this time of year in basketball, and obviously in football as well, when the cream of the crop arrive and make it a point to say they're the best. They are the top of their games. But there's nothing like doing it in the fourth quarter and in overtime. And to me, that is by far, you've seen the Gordon game winner this week. Halliburton makes the big shot. That's what I love to see. I don't like seeing a foul or a ref or whatever decide the game. I like seeing a player make the plays. Who were the best in the clutch? Patrick Waugh. You're gonna say hockey, number 5. This guy won like 10 straight overtime games. Didn't get scored on it, and hockey's coming on ESPN. That had to be a sign. But he was the captain and the king of doing it in game sevens, in overtime, in the clutch. So many games won off his glove and being a goalie, which is all the difference in hockey. If they can't score, they can't win. Maybe a random one thing, we're not hockey, but yes, he is by far a top clutch performer. The next four all have names built on their clutchness. Number 4, Robert Ory, Big Shot Bob, Alabama guy. That guy made more clutch shots in the playoffs, not being a star player, not being the Shaq, the Kobe, the Keem, the great, MVP type players on these teams that he was on, but it was fourth quarter time, 3, 2, 1 going down the clock. There's nobody like Big Shot Bob, who I think has 7 rings. Spurs, he made clutch shots. Rockets, he made clutch shots. Lakers, he made the big one that everybody still talks about over the Trailblazers. So, Big Shot Bob, you have that name, you're going to be in the category. Number 3, Joe Montana, Cool Joe. Nobody has led more, I think it was 42 or 43 fourth quarter comebacks, Super Bowl, Dwight Clark, you name it. This guy, Cool Joe, was the one you wanted with the ball in his hands in the clutch. That's why he's my number 3. Number 2, the first ever, not Mr. October, Reggie Jackson, but Mr. November, Derek Jeter. Nobody batted more than 300 in the clutchest moments of the World Series. This guy wasn't the big bomber that hit him over the fence like the Barry Bonds and the A-Rods. This guy wasn't the fastest, but he was the most clutch. There's nobody you would rather have up. I mean, when his 3,000th hit, he hits a home run. His last ever bat in Yankee Stadium, he hits the game-winning hit to win the game. Jeter is clutch, but he's not as clutch as the GOAT. MJ, Michael Jordan, whatever you want to say, there was nobody winning the game on the line. You want the ball in your hands more than Michael Jordan. And again, John Paxson made the shot at one point. Steve Kerr made the shot. But so many times, there was nobody else. He was a stone-cold killer on the courts. And now so many stories have come out about Michael and what he was doing and saying. It even makes it even crazier. This guy was a legit crazy person out there playing basketball at the highest level and was willing to take your throat and do whatever he could to win the game. He was the clutch. He is super clutch.
He would spend hours at a casino or get dropped off at a club off the team bus and then show up for a game.
Here's 2 stories, both of them a little bit too, I can't exactly say what he said, but here's 2 stories I heard lately. Number 1, in the middle of the game against the, I think the Hornets, one of the guys on the bench told Mike, I think he started out like 2 for 12, had like 4 points. Said, "Oh, I guess you're having an off game, Mike." Or, "Guess it's not your night, Mike."
Yeah.
I think they said he scored 25 or 30 in the third and fourth quarter. And as the last one, he had a patent fadeaway to put him up 6. He pretty much told the guy on the bench to shut.
Yeah.
And they were all just like. Another one, Craig Hodges just came out this week. Said that Jordan in the playoffs against the Miami Heat, they're driving by a bar. They drop him off at the bar.
Yeah, this is the one I was talking about. They drop him off at the bar and
gets drunk, comes back and puts up 30 at half.
Yeah, yeah. So that's how the team knew they could count on him. Still, they were like, "Yeah, we'll do what you say. You're showing up, right? Yep, I'll be there." He probably had some friends in tow as well that he made friends.
He said he was just going to shoot the middle rim. There was 3 rims. He was going to shoot the middle.
Yeah, he said, "I see 3 and I'm just shooting at the middle." When you're that good, like I know we've all played intramural sports and stuff and had fun, like when we were in college, a few beers and played softball, stuff like that. But we know that it takes a step off of us.
Yeah.
In the pros, it didn't even take a step off of him.
It was funny because we had a little situation a little the other night where this kid, he was doing so good, his dad changed his batting stance up. And I'm like, why are you messing with his? It was like, are you getting bored? Is he that good that you're just getting? And I feel like Michael was that way in the pros of like, I think he would almost get bored at times and like, let's let them get a 15-point lead and see if I can come back. Like, almost like toying with it. It was like, and I think
BJ made good TV.
BJ Armstrong used to say that in the documentary. Like, it was like he knew at some point he was going to win the game and how he could control it. He would let things happen. And that to me is a special type. I mean, I think Tiger is not on that list. Tiger is beyond clutch. He would just win so much. I don't think there was very many rare moments where like it was back and forth. It usually was just such a big lead.
I think there's maybe some coaches I could throw into that category that are like Belichick and Saban.
Yeah.
I think would fall in that category where they never lost their cool in certain situations. Like, yeah, there were games where Saban lost his cool. But not when they were just down by 20 or something like that. they figured it out. They said, I'm gonna figure this out. I'm gonna get it.
Well, speaking of Saban, and I might just put this in a category because I sent this the other day. I don't know if you got it.
Yeah, you did. I saw it.
Saban, 17-0 against Arkansas, 12-5 against Auburn, 13-5 against LSU, 16-1 against Mississippi State, 15-2 against Ole Miss, 10-2 against A&M, 16-1 against Tennessee, 6-0 against Vandy, 8-1 Florida, 8-2 Georgia, 4-0 Kentucky, 4-0 Missouri, 2-1 Carolina. Are we ever going to see that again?
Not as a coach, no. Something else to look at that I thought was hilarious and saw, they've been showing those Gruden quarterback things. So they brought up an old one and it said, remember this clip? And it was John Gruden and Kellen Moore.
Okay.
And talking about how great of a record he had against all the top 5 teams that they played, and he won. I think he only lost one, and every game they lost was by a field goal or less.
Yeah.
The end of it, Gruden goes, he might not have the best NFL career, he might not make it too far, and if it doesn't work out for him, that's terrible, I hope it does, but he's going to be a heck of a coach, and I don't want to ever coach against him. Sure. He's one of the best coaches.
Well, I think he's now a head coach.
Yeah. So
he's the Saints head coach, I believe.
Yeah. That's incredible.
Yeah, Gruden went and spoke with the Wisconsin team the other day, and I was ready to run through a brick wall. that guy, I don't know. I mean, he could lead an army for sure.
Oh my gosh, did you see the South Alabama stuff though?
So
he's been down in Fairhope,
and
he was opening a South Alabama Jags box, and it must have been a long day on the course or something, and he was hot because he said South Florida Jags, South Florida, at least 10 times, and then he's like, and he's looking at a logo and everything.
Yeah, well, he works at Barstool now, so I'm sure he's not required to,
Right, but it was funny. It was entertaining.
But yeah, we hope you enjoyed 5 stars. We'll see you back next week. Titan Tigers.